What up, Whiskey Ginger fans? Welcome back to the show. If it's your first time joining the show, welcome to the show. We got a good one for you today, like my man Steve Harvey done say. It is Ryan Sickler, the sick dog, the broken back boy. I love him so much. Lefty's son is out right now. His special is available on the YouTubes. Go on there and please watch it. Same for us. Please subscribe. Please like it. Leave a comment down below for the algorithm. And go see him. Sickler's so funny, man. Go see him on tour and go watch his special and spread it around to the world. Also, come see me. Me and Bob are on the road right now. We are doing a ton of dates, and we're adding dates as we go. Come see us, badfriendspod.com, badfriendspod.com to get those tickets to see me and Bobby do the Bad Friends Tour with Jesse Jutski Johnson, also with Carlos. We got all sorts of fun planned. Badfriendspod.com. Enough rambling from me. Let's go to the episode.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
Oh, that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Whiskey Ginger. My guest today is one of my favorite people on earth. I say that for all my guests, but I mean it once again today. It's Ryan Sickler. Wow, that was good.
That was fucking
Some days
good,
it's
dude.
not good. Today was good.
That was like white guy rap shit right there, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
Dude,
Good
I
to
love
be
you.
back on the Whiskey Ginger.
All right, so here's the deal.
Uh-huh.
I texted you in the airport. I think I was in the airport. And why don't you explain what you've been going through?
All right, I've been
But
talking
make
about
it
this a
funny.
bunch. I'll do my best. First of all, go watch my special. There's my camera. Go watch my special.
Right
Lefty's
now,
Son,
right now,
available
before
on
before
YouTube.
we do anything else,
Yeah.
go watch Lefty's Son right now on
Subscribe
YouTube.
to my YouTube, and I'm
Subscribe. The link is going to be in the description below to watch his special. Go watch it and spread it around, baby.
I took a page out of your book. I was very inspired by what you did. I also directed my own special.
Hell yeah.
But the thing is, the whole time I've been doing stand-up, I've also been writing and producing. I've started at like Fox Family, ABC Family, the CW, WB, Fox Sports, Oprah, you name it. I've worked there. I'm not even kidding you. Food Network, Style
Arsenio
Network,
Hall.
E! Dude, I've done so many.
Yeah.
And more. And I watched this. I've said this before. I watched this interview with Jamie Foxx after he won the Oscar, and he said that his grandmother used to make him come home after school and play the piano, and he hated it.
Yeah.
And he did not understand why she would make him fucking do it. Then, all these years later, he plays the piano in Ray and wins an Oscar, and he's like,
yeah.
now it made fucking sense. So all these years of working in post-production and seeing how people sucked. Like, I got to be a good producer because people sucked. I'm like, did you guys get room tone? They're like, huh? Like, did you guys get any artful B-roll out there that we could use to cover the shit you're giving? Nah.
Nothing.
You know what you should do? You should have somebody saying, oh, man, I like that. I'm like, yeah, we should. Did y'all shoot it? Did you get it?
No, but we should do that
but
next
we
time.
Should. Yeah, you
I
should.
hate that.
So working in post-production, I would see all the things that we're not getting from these fucking shitty people
Right.
who are half-assing their jobs. And I'm like, all right, now when I go to that side, I know I need room tone. I need artful B-roll. I need laughter. A lot of laughter is good. We can cover shit up with laughter, even if it's fucking... So it comes time to shoot my special, and I'm like, I'm just going to fucking direct this thing myself. And I originally wanted to have Eric Abrams do it, but he's like, look, I'm the easiest budget cut. And he's like, I'd hire you to fucking produce on it. And I'm
But
like,
he is great.
He is great.
Because I was with him in New York
great.
for
I
Ari's
love him.
special, and he did so good. He was so good.
He's a
The
killer.
only reason I think I didn't go with him or we didn't use him is because he was underwater. He was doing like 50 things and was straight
Mine
up.
was budgetary. Mine was strictly budgetary.
But he couldn't do
But I
it.
love him. The next one, bro.
But I had the same idea. I was like, if you can get a good DP who you trust to set up all the shots and do all the right things with you on what you like, it was almost like let's do this dance together then.
Yeah.
Like let's figure this out together instead of me throwing stuff out to somebody, walking away. And I know some people like that. They're like, I don't want to think about it. And then you'll get to the end of the edit bay and go, fuck,
Why'd they use that?
I don't like this. Why
they
is
say
that?
This? Why'd they do that?
that made
Yeah.
me nervous. I didn't.
So even
yeah.
with like trailers, I hit Segura up. I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, I don't know. He goes, even with a trailer, traditional comedy trailers are, for me, it would be like, he's a single dad. He's a blah, blah, blah. He's a blah. And I was like, I don't want to do it. So I'm just using raw clips from the fucking special.
Smart.
And that's it. No fancy music under it. I'm not bumping the fucking, putting fake laughter in or any of that.
That's my favorite when somebody goes,
is.
they sweetened it up. And it's like, no, we didn't. No,
No.
I didn't. What you hear is
We
what
leveled
you get.
it. We leveled it. So
yeah, it
it
has to be
sounds
balanced.
nice. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you listen to it. But
Right.
nobody sweetened anything. I didn't add filler laughter. I didn't
No.
do any of that shit. And I shot it at the Dynasty in here in LA. And the guy you're talking about for me is Sam Vollen. Like, he just crushed it on this. And then, you know, I'm lucky I shot it in December because this whole thing goes down right after this, and I would have had to cancel shooting, all this shit. But my producer, Kirsten, like, that poor girl drove me. She drove me. She would have to come to my home, pick me up to take me to the studio to do podcasts.
Because you
My
were.
stepson, yeah, I couldn't do. I was on a fucking walker. I was on a walker, bro. Yeah, it was bad.
When I called you, I think I texted you first to check in to see how you were, just to say hi. And also, like, I was, you know, you were on my mind, and I was seeing you online, and I was like, man, I need to say hi to Sickler. I haven't seen you in a long time. And then, man, when you gave me all that news, I was like, I couldn't believe it.
You hit me up, and I was like, dude, thank you so much. I'm just in here. I just had this back surgery, so I went in for a spinal, what is it called? Stenosis decompression.
Spinal stenosis decompression.
And it's an old-ass fucking injury from high school that I've been dealing with my whole life. Because, as I've said, like, our high school had a weight training. I'm 50 now. I graduated in 91.
You're
So,
a good-looking cat for 50. That
Thank you.
silver fox in the
Appreciate
house, huh?
listen,
him.
I'll tell you what. I've always said I wished my self-esteem matched my self-confidence. Because it doesn't.
Why?
I'm confident in things I do. I just never been confident in the way I look or sound or anything.
You got a mirror at the house?
I mean, I know I'm good.
I'm gonna buy you a mirror.
Thanks.
You sexy motherfucker.
I know I'm good, but I
Yeah.
always self-doubt. I mean, I know I'm good based off statistical results when I look at things. Like,
'Cause
I
the
knew I was
reward is
better
there.
at sports because I made the All-Star
Right.
teams and all these
Right.
things, you know. I graduated high in a 3.0. I knew I was in the smarter classes, not a 4.0, 3.0. But
back then it was out of 3, kids. It wasn't.
listen, if you got a 3.0 back then, let me tell you something. You got a State Farm insurance, good student discount,
Yep.
and a free pizza at Pizza Hut when you would go in, and it was a family restaurant. When Pizza Hut still had a motherfucking fireplace in it.
I remember those days.
Yeah, that
the
red
original
fucking fire.
Well, because dude, Pizza
Now
Hut
it's
used
a
to be sit
walk-up
down
counter.
Yeah.
Now it's a walk-up counter. You don't even go in a Pizza Hut anymore. They're gone.
You take it and go. A machine made it, and then you
Yup.
just grab it and leave.
See
Dude,
ya.
I remember Pizza Hut in high school. We would go have sit-down dinners at Pizza Hut.
That's what
It
I'm
was
saying.
a restaurant.
And I'd bring my 3.0 report card, and I'd get a free personal pan.
Hey.
And I'm like,
Show
there
up.
it is, motherfucker. You think I ain't getting that? I'm saving money at State Farm and get my free pizza. So those are the days. But we had weight training class. Did you
That
have
got
that?
you. Well, I played football for a heartbeat, and I got hurt. And my dad looked me in the face when I got home and goes, look, you love basketball so much more than football, yeah? I said, yeah, that was my sport. And he goes, do you want to get hurt playing football so you can't play basketball? I was like, no, that'll be the biggest disappointment. He goes, you're not that good at football. You're good at basketball. Stop doing it. I mean, he was so straight. He had never been that way. Anything I tried, he was like, do it. Yeah, do it. Have fun. But he was legit. He's like, dude, football, you're fine.
Yeah.
You're good. You're fine. But he's like, basketball, you're great.
You're better at
Yeah, you're gonna make
basketball than you are at football.
Yeah,
Go do
football.
that.
With basketball, it's like, you'll make varsity. No sweat. He's like, you're not a varsity football player. And I was like, respect. That hurt, but respect. But so I hung it up for that reason. So I didn't do basketball weight training was different. It was mostly cardio and, you know what I mean? It was lightweight and lots of reps. So there wasn't like, squatting. And no one did any of that stuff on basketball.
Yeah, see, for me, I was a good student. I wasn't a great student, but also from 16 on, I have no parents, and I'm still going to school and trying to get good grades.
You did it without mom and dad cracking
Yeah.
the whip.
Telling us to go, still going. But I was terrible at math. So I would get a C in math. And in order to get straight B's, you had to at least get an A to counter that C. And then
Yup.
you could hit B's and you're at a 3.0. And I
Yeah.
couldn't miss that pizza or that motherfucking
State
discount.
Farm discount.
I'm paying it. I'm paying it at 16. Not my parents.
Right.
I'm paying it. So
Right.
I need that motherfucking discount. So I need this A. So I would take a weight training class, which was also separate than a gym class. I'm like, now I got 2 A's. So I could fuck off this math and maybe even social studies. You know what I'm saying? Maybe social studies. I need English.
Mm-hmm.
So I was into Shakespeare. So I would get my straight B's doing that, and that would be my 3.0.
That was the balance.
That was my balance. But this weight training class, and it was all about be strong, don't be smart. So
Right.
we had a wall here that said the 300-pound bench club and your name
I
would
remember
get
seeing
painted,
that,
right?
yeah.
And then the 500-pound
Yep.
squat and your name will be painted.
Right.
Then you would get a shirt that was a 300, 500 combo shirt to walk around school and let everybody know you better not fuck with me.
What's up, ladies?
Yeah,
You see the tree
ladies,
5.
I'll
You see the
protect
tree
it.
5. You see the tree to 5.
That's what it was.
What you guys doing tonight?
And so many of us, I have a few friends I'm still in contact with from high school, and we all have fucked up backs because we're all under that fucking
Yeah.
squat rack. Just no one's telling you the proper form.
No.
They're just telling you, you just get under that and you put it on the back of your neck and you look up and fucking go.
Throw
and
that
we're
shit.
going, we're shooting it up fast.
So bad.
Didn't even know what a squat was when I first got there. So that fucked my back up. And it's just been this thing I lived with. And then it's always been a 6, 7, sometimes 8 pain. There's been times where I can't walk or anything, and I would go get epidurals just for pain management.
So you did that.
Yeah.
Because, we spoke, we're back bros. I had a fracture in my back and we talked about it. And everyone I know that had that, they all got epidurals, all of them. And the one dude, every one of my friends was like, do it. And one guy that I met through another friend who was like, kind of like a trainer a little bit, he did physiotherapy or whatever. And he said, do yourself a favor, try to avoid it and get into yoga, go to Pilates. He's like, try these alternative things to stretch and learn to use your own body weight. And he goes, just try it before you go get epidural. Because one day we had talked about this last time I saw you. I was in bed, so much nerve pain. Dude, I've been hit by a car. I've been knocked out in fights.
Been hit by a car?
I got hit
like
by
walking?
a car. Yeah, I got hit by in
Oh,
college.
hold on.
In college.
Tell that story.
In college.
Tell that story. You
I
can't
deserved it in college.
It deserved it.
I deserved
Were they
it.
like,
Well, I was crossing illegally. I was being a drunk idiot.
Yeah,
and
but that, you don't know if you deserved to be
I
hit by
deserved
a
it.
tank.
I deserved it. Obey the law. No, I was crossing illegally. We were drunk. I was fucking around. And I got clipped on my leg. It wasn't bad.
Did you like flip and shit?
My shoe came off. Yeah, it hit the side of my leg. My shoe came off in the
What
intersection.
kind of car do you remember?
You better believe I fucking remember what it was. It was a Saturn.
Oh,
It was
no.
Saturn.
They're not even around
I
anymore.
know. Saturn. What was the one? Solstice or what was the one? The little coupe Saturn. Do you
Yeah, I
know
know
what
what
I'm
you're
talking
talking about. Like the turquoise one that was popular
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
Why you get-
I'm probably lucky that I get hit by a little tiny car because if it was a big car, it clipped my leg. If it was a big car, it clipped my whole body. It would have
Yeah, it
smoked
would
me.
rupture your spleen. Like the internal damage of being hit by a car is
Crazy.
where you really need
I got
to worry
clipped
about.
because they were turning and I was running. I was being stupid.
Did they stop?
They did. Yeah, they stopped. But I mean, also,
They weren't like, you all right?
Yeah.
You just keep going.
You
I deserved.
you good? I deserved it. But after that, that was crazy pain. That was pain, just like a fight pain, where I was sore for like a month. When you got into a fight when you were a kid, the next day and the next day and the next day was like, it would compound the pain. You know what I mean? You were like, God damn, I didn't even know. How did I twist my shoulder? All that kind of pain over the years never compared to the pain I had from my back. It was,
Nerve shit is.
it's unaccounted for. It doesn't even, it goes under the radar in conversation of like, dude, it hurt so bad, couldn't sleep, couldn't piss, couldn't shit,
couldn't sneeze.
couldn't sneeze,
Couldn't cough.
nothing. Dude, every time you'd go,
Sneeze is. I got to get over to a counter and hold on for these motherfuckers. Like, yeah, if you freehand sneeze in
You're
your
not-
50s, it's a wrap on you, bro.
you out of your mind?
You gotta. You
Look at this
gotta
guy
brace.
freehand sneezing over
What
here.
are you doing? Dude?
Hold on to something.
You're gonna blow your back out, Gary.
But that nerve pain I experienced when you told me about the pain in your back, we were eating pizza at Joe's, and you were talking to me about your back. This is a while ago before you got surgery, and you were like, I just have to do it after all these needles. I got to do it, and I'm lucky that I didn't have to go through it yet. Who knows? Because you never know with back stuff. But you just showed me the scar in the parking lot here. What are we talking? That's got to be 6 inches, 7 inches,
Motherfucker's big, yeah.
dude. It's yeah, that's right. 7 inches is
Put
huge.
your dick up to it when we're off camera. Let's see. We'll measure. What's
6.5. But honestly, that's big. That is a big.
It's
bitch.
bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Yeah, it is.
So post surgery though, then you had to lay in bed because my boy almost died.
Yeah, I did almost die. So I went to do the surgery, and then it wasn't healing properly, and it kept bulging up, and like just fluid and blood is building up back there. So you need to come back in. We need to take a look at it. They open me back up, fix whatever's going on, tell me there's this 1 millimeter tear back there. Then that was just pumping blood out. Now we're good to go. But now we've just opened you up 2 times. So you're going to need to lay in the hospital just for a couple days and chill. And I get into the general population area, and that's when you text me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, thank you. I'm just here for a couple days. I'm good, man.
Mhm. I thought nothing of it. You were like, no, I'm straight.
That's it.
Don't worry about it.
I
You're
kept
good.
telling everybody, I'm going to kick this fucking physical therapy's ass. You'll see. You'll see. I'll tell you, man, you don't talk shit like that to the universe sometimes.
It got you.
But I have this, and I know I'm going out there everywhere talking about this, but I have something called Factor V Lighting. I found out a few years ago when I had kidney stones and I was on bed rest because I couldn't move, and my legs, both my legs clotted. And it was a 6-month adventure of them thinking I had cancer, leukemia, lymphoma, and I'm just freaking the fuck out every time they're telling me something. And it turns out that I have this blood disorder, and it's genetic. So then my mom and brothers have to get tested. They don't have it. My dad's dead, but the math is easy now. He had it, clearly. And he died at 42 of what everyone thought was a heart attack back then. And now they're telling me that medicine is realizing that back then, if you died young, it was just a heart attack. But they're realizing more and more it's actually these clots that are killing people, breaking off in their legs and lungs, brain, whatever. So he gives it to me. So I've had this thing my whole life. But this time I'm armed with that knowledge. And I tell everyone who will fucking listen, I've got this shit. Don't let me lay here and clot.
Right.
Even one guy even said, man, you're really worried about that, huh? And I said, yeah. I'm very worried.
My dad died at 42.
And I just clotted. And you guys, the last hospital told me nothing was wrong with me. And I passed these clots. Now I realize with no medicine, no help, no nothing. Like, I should have died in 2016. And I remember laying on my bed one night crying. I gave myself up. I was like, if this is it, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I just fucking it finally went away. I went and got a steroid shot. And I don't know, coincidentally, what the fuck it was, but it helped. This time, I tell them not to fucking let me clot. And I lay there for 3 days, turns into 5, turns into 7. This shit's taking a while. I'm like, why is this taking so long? And then this is what's humbling, too. And I've had this said to me before, but I'm like, this is taking longer than y'all said. Why? And they're like, well, because you're 50. You're not 20 anymore. And I was like, ugh, I felt every bit of that.
Yeah.
I wasn't even 50, actually. I was 49. I was like, let's not round up. I hope I'm going to be 50 after this.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I felt every bit of that. Like, oh, yeah, I still think I'm young, but my body's like, it's going to be a minute. So they come in, and to their credit, they ultrasound my legs, and they say I have no clots in my legs. I'm like, great. I put these calf pumps on. They've got these automatic calf pumps.
You got them calf pumps.
Pumping my legs all day.
Just to keep the blood moving.
Just to keep blood circulating.
Nowhere else in your body, just your legs.
Just my fucking.
Because it's got to get back upstairs. You got to come back up. Let's go. Come up.
And then this one, they come in on a Saturday and ask me to pass this test. I have to pass a couple tests. I have to pass a walker test first. They're like, you've been laying on your own body for 8 or 9 days. You're going to be sore. Your back is fucked up. You got to pass a walker test. And they said, you might be dizzy and shit when you get up. So I sit up. I'm fucked up. I lay back down. He's like, all right, we're not going to do it today. I'm like, I just want to get the fuck out of there.
Right.
I just want to go home. Now I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Sunday. I sit up. I feel good. I do a 360, a tiny ass senior citizen walk on this walker. And I'm like, all right, what else? And he's like, that's it. I'm like, come on, dude. He's like, that's it. I'm telling you, yesterday you couldn't walk, and today you just walked on a walker. And I'm telling you, in my world, that's a big deal. So tomorrow you pass a stairs test, you're going home. And I was like, great.
Show me them stairs.
Thank fucking God I failed the test the day before, and thank God I have fucking stairs going into my place. So the lady comes in the next day, and she's like, how do you feel today? I go, I feel weird. I just feel different. She's like, do you want to do this? I go, yeah, I want to go the hell home. I'm tired of being here. And that night, they moved me into my own room. And I'm telling them, just leave me here. I'm going home tomorrow. They're like, we're going to put you in your room. I'm going home tomorrow. Just leave me. Now we're putting you in your own room. I go to my own room, like, all right, I'll get a good night's sleep. Because now I'm out of general population.
You sound like prison, by the way.
It is
How was
prison.
your cellie?
It's prison, dude.
Did you talk to your cellie?
Yeah. I met Cheryl,
Cheryl.
What was her name? I think it was Cheryl, or I forget now. Cheryl. It might have been Cheryl.
Cheryl.
Nice older black lady over here.
Yeah, I knew that. When you said it, I knew it. Cheryl.
But see, the thing is, when you're in this area, I'm laying on my back. I see nothing. All of this is audio only. Everything I'm putting together. And this side, this room over here, just curtains, but you might have come in and got thumb surgery. You're in there for 2 hours.
Right.
You're bumping your fucking music with your family and shit. I'm on day 7, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, you're leaving after 4 hours because you had arthroscopic on your knee. I'm on day 8, bitch.
Yeah.
Shut up. Like, quiet. Be quiet.
Yeah.
Cheryl's in there for 3 or 4 days with me, and I hear her one day. She's like, "How you doing over there?" And I was like, "I'm all right, man. This is fucked up." And they're putting Dilaudid in my IV. And I'm not a drug guy. I'm weed and shrooms. That's
Right.
it. I don't like the pills, nothing.
No, I don't like pills.
Dude, you're talking to me, and I'm seeing fucking flesh.
My face start to
chunks
move.
fall off.
Uh-uh.
Bloody chunks fall off and hit the table. I'm seeing the bone up under and everything. And I'm just like, what the? And you're wearing a mask because they were still making you wear masks. And then I'm seeing it flip, 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 flip.
Oh, no.
I call the nurse. I'm like, "Hey, I'm tripping in here. I'm tripping. I'm scared." She's like, "What do you got?" I go, "Right now where you're talking to me, chunks of your face are falling off." She's like, "That's not supposed to happen." I go, "Yeah, I know. I know. Get this shit out of me. I want oral pills only. Like, I don't even want the pain you're giving me. That fucking, I don't want it."
Because Dilaudid is strong.
Cheryl over here goes, "I'm seeing the same thing." I go, "Nah." She goes, "I am." I go, "Why are you taking it and not saying something?" She's like, "Oh, I'm tripping." I go, "Yeah, we are tripping." So both of us requested that shit's out. Like IV Dilaudid.
It's mainline, bro. It's right in. There's
it's-
no
It's too much.
right,
For
because
me.
pills you at least
It's
get
too
to
much.
process. Your body
Yeah,
slowly
my
breaks
body
it up.
slowly process.
Yeah.
This shit's like ding, and I'm like, no, man, your face is falling off, dude. It was nonstop.
In here, we pour whiskey.
This episode of Whiskey Ginger is brought to you by BetterHelp. Hey, I've spoken very openly and candidly on this show about therapy and getting help and talking to somebody, and I believe that BetterHelp is a wonderful, wonderful organization that can help you get the help that you need to be your better self. And here's the deal. Getting to know who you really are is a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing, myself included. They connect you with a licensed therapist who can help you take that journey of self-discovery from wherever you are. I love speaking to somebody, and BetterHelp is wonderful because I don't want to leave the house, to be honest with you. It's entirely done from the comfort of your own home, workspace, comfort lodge, whatever you got, man cave, she shed, wherever you are. Please access someone to speak to them about anything that you've got going on in your life. Because if you're thinking about therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It is wonderful and convenient and cheaper than traditional therapy, to be honest with you. It's entirely done online. It's designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Fill out a brief questionnaire, get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. So if you're looking to make some moves in your life, both mentally and physically, to get yourself back aligned and feeling better, discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/whiskey today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/whiskey. One of my favorite days of the month is when I get my box of awesome in the mail. What's a box of awesome from Bespoke Post, Andrew, you might be asking? Well, it's incredible. It's a beautiful, unique, curated box from a small business that you probably would never have heard of otherwise. From cozy essentials to travel must-haves and cocktail kicks, Box of Awesome has everything you need this month. How do you get started to get a cool little box of random cool things? Well, you go to boxofawesome.com. Your answers when you take a little quiz are going to help them pick the right box of awesome for you. They release new boxes every single month across a ton of different categories. Each box is worth about $70. You're going to pay a much less than that. Plus, each box of awesome, you're supporting small businesses. 90%, overwhelming majority, 90% of everything that comes in your boxes of awesome is from a small and up-and-coming brand. Free to sign up. You can skip a month or cancel at any time. They're not going to punish you or knock on your door. They ain't the IRS or the feds. The Frontier is what they just sent me with a cool little pocket knife developed in 1980, becomes synonymous with French design and utility. And I got to tell you, a little pocket knife for carving, slashing, slicing, cutting limes to throw in my Rona once in a while. It's been incredible. They've sent me box and box and box of awesome as I've been a part of them for quite a long time now, and I love it. Also, the Scorch, they sent me that with those delicious hot sauces from small brands all over the country, from Texas, Nevada, California, and more. These box of awesome are a great gift for yourself or for a loved one. Great for someone that likes new stuff to collect, to trade, and also to give to others, to pass on the love. Get 20% off your first monthly box when you sign up today at boxofawesome.com and enter the code whiskey at checkout. That's boxofawesome.com, code whiskey for 20% off your first box. Boxofawesome.com, code whiskey.
Ginger. I like gingers.
So they move me up, lady. They dope me up. And I tell the lady, like, look, man, they just put all this bullshit in me, and I really want to pass this test. It's It's fucking 6 a.m. I don't know if you've ever been in the hospital. That's what they do to you.
Mm-mm.
They come in. You never get the rest. That's what the nurses tell you, too. The one thing you really need in here is rest. But someone's coming to clean the room, take your lunch, check your vitals, give you the pain meds. There's doctors. Now, I've got so many in and out. And they'll kick your motherfucking bed and be like, hey, Ryan, I know it's 5 o'clock in the morning. You just going through some crazy shit. But we're about to tell you a bunch of new medications you've never heard of with different milligrams that you better fucking remember. So you might, and I'm taking an eye mask off. I'm taking earplugs out. I got a white noise maker next to my head. And I'm like, what is fucking happening? So I'm like, just come back. They dope me up. Will you please come back at noon? She's like, yeah. Comes back at noon. She's like, how are you feeling? I was like, I don't know. I feel weird. She's like, do you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, I want to go home. So she's like, all right, all you got to do is go up and down these stairs. So I walk up and down them. She goes, now I want you to go up sideways, like you're holding on to a rail. And I go, okay. I do that, and I go back down. And she goes, Mr. Sickler, as your occupational therapist, I can tell you that you have passed the necessary steps to go home today. And I fucking collapse on my bed immediately after she says that. And I go, I'm clotting. And she goes, what? I go, I'm clotting. She's like, oh, my God. I still want to find this poor lady. She runs out, gets a doctor. He comes in. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm clotting. He goes, how do you know? I said, this has happened to me before. He's like, what do you feel? I said, I feel 3 elephants on my chest. He checks my blood pressure. He goes, okay, Mr. Sickler, you might be having a heart attack and clotting. And I said, huh? And then I black out. That's when I wake up, and that nurse is there, and I don't know why. And I just say, am I going home today? And she's like, no, your discharge has been canceled. And I was like, oh. So now I'm on like, who knows? And they tell me you have a pulmonologist, a cardiologist, a hematologist, an oncologist, and a spinal surgeon. And every person on all those teams has to tell you that you can go home before you go home. And I said, yeah, that's a great fucking plan.
Bring in all the gist.
And I've said it before. If there's 12 of you and 11 of you say I can go and one of you doesn't, I want to talk to that fucking person.
100%.
Like, what are you seeing that you don't like over there, you know?
Right.
So the problem is every day they test me, something's different. And now what that means, I learn, unfortunately, is that it's a 12-hour fast, right? And then they come and test your blood. So then that's another 8 hours. So it's a 2-day process every time you have a setback. It's 2 more days. And it just keeps going. And they wheel me into CT scans, and they come back and they say, all right, you didn't have a heart attack. I'm like, great. They're like, but your heart is swollen. I was like, well, what do you mean?
Oh, my God.
And it's swelled up to where it's pumping 50-50. It's supposed to be 2/3, 1/3 in our heart. I didn't know any of this. 50-50.
I still don't know that, yeah.
50-50. And they're like, it's going to be a minute. That shit took like 6 days to go down. And again, I thought I had a clot.
Yeah.
And they were like, you have massive pulmonary embolisms. That's the fancy term for lung clots, covering both of your lungs. And I was like, huh? And that's when they're like, you could also have a stroke. And I said, what? I didn't even think, right?
Yeah.
Then I made a rule. I go, listen, new rule in here, and put it up on my dry erase board. Stop telling me the shit that could happen.
Yeah,
Stop.
no.
You're freaking me the fuck out.
You don't want to know that kind of stuff.
I could have a stroke, a heart attack. I just got over. I didn't have a heart attack, but my heart swelled. Don't tell me about a stroke.
Right.
But they're like, you need to know all this because it's touch and go for you. It's the next 48 hours are kind of scary. So I have to call my daughter's mother, family members, and start talking to them about, I called Segura crying.
Yeah.
I was good at first, and I was like, listen, if something happens to me, he's like, if there's any way I can help. I said, my special's in good hands. Put it on your YouTube and give whatever money you make to my daughter. He's like, you got it, man. I said, thank you. That's all I want. That was my only request.
Put my special love, give the money to my
your
kid.
YouTube.
And you're like, but also
not on mine, please.
Also, all the YouTube ad generated.
Yeah, anything that
can you make sure in perpetuity? Like, it's not just 1 month?
Perpetuity. It's not just 1 month.
Yeah, not just 1 month. She
That's
does.
the shit I was saying. Still thinking about her. And also, I don't get to see my daughter. I don't get to see her. And so now I'm in there. And I'm telling you, dude, it's nightmares. And there's a lady over here. Oh, there's always a yeller when you're in the hospital. I had one down in the fucking Gen Pop. And I got this lady. And one night I have this horrible dream. Those drugs, man. And I have the dream that I'm first in like a East Coast or Midwest basement, like a club basement. You know those basements?
Oh, yeah.
People
I grew up
finished
in them.
got a bar back here, and
Yep.
I'm yelling for help across the room. But I know I've dreamt enough, and I'm not deep enough asleep that I know I'm yelling in real life. But I'm in the dream going, "Oh, help!" You know when you can't get it out, you're like, "Help,
Mm-hmm.
help." So then they take me. I don't know who they is, and they throw me in the back of this old Toyota Corolla,
I've been in the back of those.
like an '82.
I remember it. Cloth seats.
And then they start fucking throwing bodies on top of me. These are the dreams I'm having on these drugs. And I'm buried alive under bodies, and I'm trying to, and I fucking dig. The whole time I'm screaming. I dig myself out of the bodies, and now I'm crawling back to the hospital. I'm outside the hospital, obviously in my dream, and I'm showing my wristband like I'm supposed to be in there. I'm supposed to be in there, and then some fucking like. I wish people could have got my mind for sci-fi movies. Some like businessman walks up with dark glasses, like Matrix type shit, and I stand up. And homeboy lasers my fucking eyes out of my fucking face. I can hear the dirt crunching under his fucking loafers. And I'm screaming. And then finally I'm like, I come out of the drum. I'm like, ah! And I hit I'm hitting the button. The lady runs in. I go, I know I was screaming. You didn't hear me screaming? She's like, oh my God. We thought it was the lady next to you that screams all day, so we paid it no mind. I'm like, listen, had a new rule too. Don't let me hit REM sleep. I had a rule.
Right.
Don't let me get that fucking deep because this shit is crazy. Like,
Damn.
I can't sleep like this. I can't. And then they keep telling me I'm going to get out, and a week turns into 2 weeks, turns into 3 weeks, and I'm losing my shit. I'm losing my fucking mind. I'm on my back. I don't get up higher than 30 degrees. I can, if I can get out of bed and get to my walker and go and sit and take a piss, it's the greatest day I've had since I've been in there.
Damn.
But that day when I clotted and everything, I had like three surgeons come in and be like, you should have died today. I'm like, I know, I would have passed that test and been home. I would have called. I said I definitely would have called 911 for what I was feeling. They're like, yeah, but you wouldn't have made it. I'm like, They're like, something's watching over you in this room.
Wow.
And I was like, that's interesting. One guy came in crying. Surgeon's crying for me. I'm like, what are you doing, dude?
Crying for you.
Crying. Because every day he's checking on me, telling me you're supposed to go home. And then he comes back in the morning. He's like, what the fuck are you still doing here? I'm like, I don't know. They saw something they didn't like. He's like, all right, well, hopefully it's tomorrow. Comes back. He's like, you're still here? I'm like, yeah, dude. This Dan Van Kirk calls this my Gilligan's Island. It was supposed to be it legitimately was supposed to be a 3-hour outpatient procedure. And that's it.
Turned into Gilligan's Island.
Turned into a fucking month-long near-death.
Was Marianne there?
Unfortunately,
No Marianne?
No. No.
Just a bunch of skippers.
Bunch of skippers, bro.
I'll say this.
Have you ever almost died?
No.
Have you ever had a near-death
And I'm glad that you're alive, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad. I've never come close to like that. Nothing like that. The only thing I ever had that was traumatic was my legs taken out in basketball.
What do you mean? Somebody undercut you?
Oh, yeah. I fell on my neck.
You hit your neck.
I fell on my neck.
Did
All
they
my weight
wheel
fell on my
you
neck.
out of there from there?
Well, what happened was we were playing ball at, oh, man, what is it called? Lifetime Fitness.
Yeah.
Lifetime Fitness. And I
You're
went
going to
up.
be paralyzed for a lifetime.
Yeah. I went up to get a board, dude. I thought.
This wasn't even high school or anything. This
No.
is just fucking around.
No,
ball.
high school. This was high school.
Oh.
Yeah, but it was during high school, but it was right. It was playing pickup ball.
Got it.
And I went up to get a board, and I thought I came down. In my mind, it was crazy. I thought I landed and then fell, but because I had blacked out. I had my legs taken out. I fell on my neck, on the back of my spine. Like all my weight went backwards. And when I came to, I was asking for a sub. I was going, sub,
Waving.
sub. But I realized I'm not standing upright. I'm actually like sideways, being held up.
It's amazing that basically your brain just paused.
Yeah.
For this could have been 10 minutes.
Yep.
It could have strapped you down, everything, and as soon as you come to, you're waving one hand.
Sub.
That's a ball player
Sup?
right there. I gotta tell you, that's a ball player.
And I kept looking for, and then my buddy, two of my friends' faces, I mean, white as a ghost.
That's what you're seeing?
All I could see was their faces blurred, and they were white as a ghost. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And they're like, bro, sit down. Like, I kept trying to get up, and they were like, sit down. And I was like, why are you guys acting so fucking weird, man? I got fouled. I got whatever, we're good. He's like, bro, sit down. And then I remember sitting down, and then I opened up my eyes again, and I was horizontal on a gurney.
You were.
And two paramedics were over the top of me. And I said, I think I'm going to throw up. And he goes, go ahead. And I turned over the gurney, blah, all over the place. And he goes, oh, yeah. And they start talking, checking my eyes because I had a severe concussion and bruised my spine, or I can't remember the terminology. I bruised multiple spots in my spine. It was about to break. And it was like so many inches of pressure away
P.S.
from.
That's absolutely
A near death?
No. Well, it is a near death.
I mean, I could have broke my neck. Yeah,
but also it's probably contributing to all the spine shit you have now.
I'm sure. I'm sure
it
years
is.
later. Well, then
arthritis and everything.
yeah.
In there.
When I went in, when I got to the ER,
God damn.
because I kept holding his hand, I was freaking out. But I kept moving my legs. I was like, well, I didn't break my neck, but something's wrong.
Is that what was going through your mind? Like, am
I thought I broke my neck. Yeah, I was like, man, maybe I broke my neck. I kept wiggling my legs. I did it maybe 100 times.
They're moving.
And then by the time I got there, he said, the doctor was like, you know, my mom, when I don't remember it's in pieces, but then I remember my parents in the room, my mom bawling and my dad looking crazy concerned. And the doctor was like, you know, you're so lucky you didn't break. You're so close to breaking your neck. He's like, you should have broken your neck.
Really?
You are so lucky you didn't break your neck. And I had to live in a fucking neck cast for a while to support it.
Did you have the halo or just the neck thing?
I had a full neck, but it went all the way up like high on my neck to hold my neck straight in place.
Oh, you had that fucking
it was this
Brian
guy.
Cox.
Yeah, it was
that
this
fucking old NFL neck collar
Yeah,
on.
yeah, the horse,
Yeah,
the horse collar, the cowboy collar. I had it, bro, at lunch. You know, someone was like, Santino, what up? Trying to still be cool. I was trying to match my fit to it.
What's up, man? Nah, were you hanging chains off it?
I was so nervous about it, man. And but
hell yeah,
but I got lucky. I mean, the only thing I got from it was a concussion, and I had severe spinal bruising. I don't know if that's the terminology, but I was in that thing for, I don't even remember. Maybe it was like a month or so before I could even get back to like doing neck therapy and all that stuff and neck muscle regeneration because it deteriorated, right? Your muscles in your neck,
dude,
they deteriorate. Yeah.
My neck,
back.
It's more sore than it's more sore than my back. It is.
Yeah, it is.
Because I didn't I had recorded just enough podcasts for Patreon and the Honeydew. Subscribe to the Honeydew, by the way.
Go get that honeydew. Go get that dew.
Because I thought I'd be spending the month of January just simple rehabbing, and I figured I'd give myself time to do that, and I don't need to go sit and record and
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
This shit happens, and I get right to the point where I finally get out of the hospital. Kirsten has to come get me, drive me, and we do a Patreon because I value it. They pay for it, and I want to make sure I don't miss.
This guy's dying, and he's worried about the fans, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then my first guest in the studio after which was only days later, was Neil Brennan. So you go back, that's my first interview on the regular Honeydew out of the hospital. But I'd recorded just enough, and I was able to just at that time sit for an hour and 15 tops. I was getting so tired I couldn't fucking figure out why. And I'm like, oh my God. I finally, after a while, I felt my own shoulders, the weight of my own shoulders just naturally pulled, because I hadn't sat upright for a month.
Mm.
You know, I said when I got home and I rolled to my side, I cried. I was like, oh my God, I'm on my side. And and just the weight of my big ass head on my neck too. Like it's still sore as
You got
fuck
a big
right
dome.
now. I do got a
What are
big
we
dome.
talking? 8 1/4?
Nah, hell no. I used to be 7 1/4, but it did get bigger. God, what's the next size up? 2/3? What's the next? I don't know. I don't know my fraction.
You said you're bad at math. That's what that 3.0 came from those weightlifting classes.
I'll be doing curls outside this room to outweigh that fucking fraction math I just did.
Well, let me say this. I'm so happy that you're alive. I hope you live for a very, very long time.
Thank you, bro.
And if anything ever happens to you, I'll post your special on mine as
please.
well.
Give it all to my daughter.
And I'll give your daughter 3 months. I said 3 months of
90
YouTube.
days. I'll let her know. I'll let her know.
I got your daughter calling me over the 4th month, like, Santino, what's up with the check? And I'm like, listen, man,
You
your
know
dad
the
and
deal,
I
girl.
said 3 months. That's the deal we made. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Was your daughter, I don't want to lean on it too much
Go
because
ahead,
I want to
you
move
can.
on, but was your daughter, that was heavy for her?
Yeah, so the way I explained it to
Because
her
she's a
first.
teenager now? What
No,
is-
she's only 8.
Oh, I thought she was 10 or 11 or something like that. But
She knew it was a back surgery. So I kept it to that. I never really alluded to.
you didn't want to tell her everything.
Yeah, I just said, hey, my back's all messed up and it's not healing right. So, but the things that got me was she was going to school telling her friends that my dad's not doing good. And I found out because her teacher emailed me. And I was like, yeah, well, here's what really happened, and this is what I'm going through, and I'm not letting her know about it yet. But now, without telling her, when people in life come up to me and ask me what happened, and I talk about it, she hears it that way. I haven't sat her down to say, well, this is what happened. But
she's too young to like hear all that heavy.
Yeah,
That's heavy
it's
for
heavy
a kid.
shit.
You
But
know?
I do need to. The unfortunate thing is it's genetic, so she's got to be tested.
Oh, right, for clotting.
Right. And if our pediatrician already told us, like, you don't need to do it now, but if she's on pregnancy and needs bed rest, that could kill her if she doesn't know she has it. If she wants to take birth control, that is prone to making women clot. So it's not a good idea for her to do that. So I got to teach her about raw dogging and shit. Like, I have to have fucking real conversations with my kid.
Like, listen, baby girl.
You better use condoms and don't raw dog, because I'm telling you, you can't take birth control.
The birds, the bees, and the wheelchair. Let me tell you about the bird, the bee, and the wheelchair. That's wild.
They finally let her come in, and she knew she knew what was up. She came and hugged me nonstop, and then one day I surprised her picking her up at school with my cane. I was off the walker, and she's like, "Dad, you're okay," and came running up to me and hugging me, and I was like, "This is all I want.
Life is
That's
good.
it. It's all I want." I've never craved palatial mansions and fucking fancy cars or any of that. Like, because I always go back to when my dad died when we were 16 and we're alone. I'm like, a mansion wouldn't make this feel any better right now.
Somehow it'd make it feel worse.
At all.
Big room to be all alone in.
Yeah.
Big house all alone.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of times what you see when you see people with like so much money and so much success and excess, that you're like, what are you doing this big thing when you're all by yourself?
You got 14 rooms.
What are you doing?
You're in one.
Yeah, what are you doing with all these fucking rooms? That is a very deep philosophical ideology that, like, when you get sick or get hurt, you'd rather have a 1-bedroom apartment so you can see everybody all the time. You'd rather be closer to the people than further away with all of the bullshit that you acquire over life.
Mm-hmm.
That's deep though, and also, that's heavy for an 8-year-old. But
yeah,
but they only need to know what they need to know. Do you know what I mean? When she's older, she'll be different.
Hear it all.
She'll get all of it.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's gonna get all.
She'll hear all that bullshit.
Sure.
When
She's got to. She's got to get tested for it. I'm like, here's the fucking deal. This is what can happen to you.
I think about that all. Like, whenever you go in and they're like, well, what runs in your family? And you got to make the phone call. You're like, what? He had cancer? He had cancer too. Okay. I'm telling the doctor, I'm like,
yeah.
So I guess everybody had this kind of cancer and this kind of cancer and this kind of, and then you like add it all up and you're like, how come I never knew that? And your parents are like, well, I guess we never talked about it. I don't know. I mean, but I guess it does run in the family.
We're the generation of I love you, the dads that say I love you and love their kids and try to figure it all out. Messy bros with feelings trying to figure it out. We're also the people that are like, 7 people died of colon cancer, huh? You're like, holy shit.
How come I never knew that?
Not talking about that?
Yeah, how come that never came down the line?
We're also those people. So
Yeah.
now we're these middle people that are trying to pass all this, like trying to break cycles of trauma and bullshit, the whole walk it off generation, and then the genetic bullshit that we're finding out that we have. Like, wait, what? I have what?
We are the
God
walk
damn.
it off generation. That's so
We're the
funny.
walk it off
Walk it
generation.
off.
Just
That was
stop
me
being a
asking for a
pussy.
sub.
Yeah.
Sub. My tongue was probably
Stop
sub.
this fucking pussy over here.
But that was
yeah.
that was your instinct. Was like, you're good.
Yep, you're
You're
good.
fine.
Just walk
In here, we pour whiskey.
Hey, have you ever searched your name in a search engine? If not, you may be surprised by the amount of personal information available online. It's scary, it's creepy, it's gross. Your full legal name, email, home address, phone numbers, that can all be found online. Even your shoe size. What? Yeah. Or your waist size. Come on. It's nuts. If it's not true for you, it might be true for your friends and family. So your personal info is out there for anyone to find. It seems like there's a new data breach in the news every other day. I got a letter in the mail from one of the credit unions that I had used, and they said, oh, we've been breached. Also, a health organization that I used to get physical therapy at. So it's awful. In 2022 alone, there were over 1,800 data breaches that exposed personal information for over 422 million individuals. That is too many people. And victims of data breaches are easy targets for all sorts of cyber crimes. The most tech-advanced companies in social media, telecom, crypto have been breached because of the vast sensitive data that they possess. So what can you do about it? Well, Aura's got you. Aura offers a suite of tools to protect you and your loved ones, including real-time alerts on suspicious credit activity, computer virus protection, parental controls, a VPN, which I highly recommend, a password manager, comprehensive online safety solution that provides almost every tool you'll ever need all in one place. Aura helps you reduce annoying robocalls, telemarketers, and junk mail, sending takedown requests on your behalf. You got to use Aura to keep yourself safe. For a limited time, Aura is offering our listeners a 14-day trial plus a free check of your data to see if your personal information has been leaked online. All free when you visit aura.com/whiskey. That's aura.com/whiskey to sign up for a 14-day free trial and start protecting you and your loved one. That's aura, AURA.com/whiskey. Certain terms apply. Be sure to check out the site for details.
Ginger. I like gingers.
I think I talked to you about this one time. I remember the first time I ever got clocked in junior high football. I got smoked. The kicker was hurt, and they're like, Santino, you can kick. You're the only one that could probably kick, on the team. No one else wanted to kick. I said, I don't want to fucking kick. He's like, dude, you gotta. We have no one else that can kick the fucking football. Fine. So the kid snaps me the ball. It goes, 30 yards over my fucking head. And I jump, nothing. I turn, I grab the ball, and I'm thinking, I'm running for the first down. Fuck this. Dude. I'm like, what I'm doing is I got smoked.
How many steps did you get before
4.
you got? And did they get you like when you had mid-step so you flew?
Oh, yeah, dude. I was mid-stride. I was horizontal.
That's the worst, dude, when you got 1 foot up.
And I remember my dad going, you got your bell rung, boy. I was gone. I think I spoke Chinese for like a month. I couldn't see straight. That fucked me up so bad. But that was it. My dad, after I got clipped, was doing that. He goes, "You're good. You got your bell rung. You're good. Welcome to the club." It's the first time you ever got smacked. Because before that, I played safety and DB. I didn't really ever get popped hard.
Mm-hmm.
I got to pop, but it was all strategic. You know what I mean? Like I never had an open field smach.
Yeah.
But that one got me bad,
That
dude.
kid still talks about that. He's like, y'all watch that show, Dave? Man, look at this guy right here. I fucked him up in high school, man.
He's somewhere on a patio smoking a heater with somebody going,
Yep.
you know that redhead from
See
Dave?
that guy right there on TV?
Fucking murked that kid, dude.
He is definitely telling everybody, you're highlighting that kid's fucking career, dude. You really are.
But true, man. I remember, dude, it singed. The whole team went, oh,
Yeah.
my team,
Yeah,
my
your
team.
team,
Oh, Santino.
You ever get it the other way? What's the hardest hit you put on somebody?
As a safety, like we were, this is back in the day too, when cheap shots were still a thing. You could still,
hell
it's
yeah.
so funny. You could still,
You start turn around just to go to
I had a couple
Kill a
of, I had a
guy.
couple of cheapo peepos that I was, it's so funny. Like when you're a kid, you got clapped out for that. Like your coach was like, let's go. But then you get older,
You almost
you're like,
killed him. Let's go.
yeah, dude, you're like, I think I really fucked that
that
kid
kid
up.
might be paralyzed.
I
what I'm talking
dislocated a kid's shoulder. I fucked up a
Yeah.
kid's dislocated shoulder, and I think I might have fucked up his collarbone. But I hit him so hard on a side hit, on a half front facing side hit. So he's coming up the field. He doesn't really see me, and I hit him so hard, his shoulder went up, took his helmet off of his fucking head. That was bad. That kind of stuff. In retrospect, you're like, man, that was cheap. And it's fine because it was back then. But now you're like, that's why everyone can't speak anymore. That's why you see any stars of old. I told you one time I saw at a golf course I played with in the group. We were paired in a big chunk of groups, so they were right in front of us. But Elway, it was amazing meeting a guy, seeing him. I've never seen somebody so like brutally fucked up from all those years.
You could see it.
Well, brother, the way he walked
Moves
was
and shit.
crazy.
I'll bet.
He walked like it was like those Boston Robotics,
Yeah.
I mean, he was walking like they were all on different fucking algorithms. He couldn't really walk that well, and looked like it was
in
every step.
60s?
Got to be late 60s by now. Yeah.
So he's gonna be shitting his
Brother,
80s.
you could tell it was
Wow.
it was painful to like get through. I mean, he went with a smile on his face, but the way he moved looked like, 20 years of just constantly getting beat up.
I read an article not too long ago about Earl Campbell. I love Earl Campbell.
Yeah, man.
Earl Campbell's one of my favorite
One of the
running
best
backs.
of all time.
And it said that it takes him 30 minutes to get up out of bed in the morning and put his pants on. Like that's how
Put his pants on.
just to get up out of bed, sit there and put pants on takes about 30 minutes.
It's a different game now. It's a different world now, which is good. But you know what the irony is? Because we were taught as kids, we were the walk it off. We were taught, dude, hit him with your fucking helmet. Throw that head in there. Go nuts.
Spear him.
Who gives a
Who
shit?
cares about your neck either?
Yeah, dude.
Get him.
Get him. You got a helmet on. That was the old phrase. You got a helmet on.
Quit being a pussy. You're wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
It's not like anything could happen.
Your neck's an accordion, just
yeah,
yeah. Well,
shooting up places.
what was wild about all that, all these years later, now learning about that stuff, going overseas, watching rugby, and I went to a AFL game, and Aussie rules football. You know what that is? It's wild as shit, man. But you watch the way they clip each other. It's very, very coordinated. It looks like a perfect little dance. They know exactly how to get low. They know exactly how to take the hits. So you don't
have to. You don't have all that padding and the plastic.
Well, that's what
in
it
there
teaches them. It teaches them
right.
not to just go balls out.
Proper form. Yeah.
I mean, I know you, and I know you. You went ham when you were playing football,
yeah.
right? So you didn't care. You didn't think
No.
anything twice. You're like, brother, I'm in fucking armor.
Yeah.
What could happen?
The whole time I'm playing with this back injury. That's part of being young and dumb and full of cum. Is at 16 and 17, I'm like, who cares if I can't feel this leg? I can still run. You know what I mean? I was literally like that.
Yeah, that's nuts.
I had two good ones. I would say career ones. I had two good ones. This poor kid probably hates it too. I broke a kid's collarbone on a hard, clean slide tackle, and he flew over me, and I heard it go when he hit the ground. I was like, yeah.
You got an extra sticker on your
it
helmet
was a
for
good
that,
one,
boy.
bro. That was soccer, actually. It was a slide tackle. But this was wrestling. So in wrestling, my dad had just died, and I'm just full of absolute rage.
Yeah.
Just full of rage. And we had a holiday Christmas tournament, and it's like maybe 12, 15 schools come together, and you just wrestle, whatever in your weight class, pare it all the way down, and then, you get the bright light. And our high school did it right, man. They shut all the lights off, had a cone light come
Single
down.
spotlight?
Yeah.
That's sexy as
Now,
shit.
during the tournament, no, because you've got matches going all
Sure,
over the
sure.
place.
No.
But the final,
Yeah, the
every weight
finals.
class, all lights off, fucking don't look, just
How-
like Vision Quest, dude.
Yeah.
It was awesome. No
Yeah.
other school we went to did that.
Yeah.
So everyone loved to come wrestle at our school because they're like, fuck yeah, under the light. It's just one dome spotlight,
Right.
boom. And they were like, Ryan, we need you to wrestle 175. And I was like 165 or whatever it was. And I'm
It's
like,
a big leap.
it's big when it's muscle.
That's what I mean.
I could
15
fuck you up if you were 10 pounds fatter than me.
Nah, but 15 of muscle is bananas.
Bananas.
It's a whole different category.
Bananas.
Yeah, that's
especially
great.
at that age.
Yeah.
It's like it's visibly noticeable. I'm
Right.
like, Jesus Christ, I got to wrestle this motherfucker. He's like 6'3". I'm 5'10". But I'm wrestling normally in that 65 or 68, whatever it was, pound class. So I get on the scale and my whole singlet, I'm eating a cup of pudding, and that thing ain't even moving. I'm like, fuck. So then I go against him. He was from Gilman. I'll never forget.
You know them Gilman
blue
boys.
and gray.
Those Gilman boys.
And it was a big motherfucker. And we square up, and we're going at it. And I just chuck him by the side of me just to see if I can get a headlock on him. I just grab the back and just give him a little chuck. And his neck sticks out. And I was like, there it is. And I put a headlock on this motherfucker. I flipped him, dropped him, and I held it. And then now, not only I'm not excited, I am terrified.
Right.
I'm terrified that if I don't pin this kid, I'm getting fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm leaning all my weight, and I'm taking his arm because he's yelling, and I'm throwing it over his face like that, and I'm on my feet. And I'm like, oh, God. And then I hear boom. And I'm like, oh, dude, this dude was so fucking pissed. I pinned his ass. I went down in the locker room. I bawled like a baby. I was so fucking like emotional about like my dad not being there. This is for him. Bawling. I'm feeling so good about myself all day. We get on the bus to go home. I do really well in the tournament. We get on the bus to go home. And the coach is like doing that bullshit, giving out like, all right, best comeback from behind wins, Santino right there. Yeah. They're pumping everybody up. And he gets to me and he goes, all right, this award goes to the guy that should have never won, but won anyway. I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is that, dude?
Should have never.
I should have never. I won.
Yeah.
I was a chance going in. But man, I pinned that fucking kid, and that was fucking awesome.
You remember that forever.
I'll remember that forever. He remembers it. He's probably
He's
talking
smoking
about
a
you
cigarette
like
on
this
a patio
One
going,
motherfucking time, I guy
Sickler.
chucked me, stuck his head out. too far. You stick that head out, I'm going for it.
All those days of all that stuff led to where we are now, broken bodies.
Yep,
Broken and
my
in pain.
ankles are shit. My knee still jumps out of socket. I had arthroscopic on. If I sit even close to, it'll jump out, and then I have to fucking go, and I got to straighten it, and it'll go boom, hardcore back
And
in.
pop back in.
Mm-hmm.
The next special's got to be all about that, body injuries.
Body
Lefty Son will be the last regular special.
This motherfucker gave this shit to me.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
I can't believe how appropriately named it is. This is the guy that gave me this shit that almost fucking killed me.
Right.
Genetics. Listen, I know a lot of you out there probably are like, man, fuck my mom or dad or whatever. But I'm telling you, on the sly, figure out what the fuck their genetics are. 'Cause
Yeah.
even if they're pieces of shit, they're your genetic code.
You
And
got it.
That could save your fucking life.
My dad, for some reason, is a medical anomaly. Like, what?
How old is he now?
Almost 70, and was the story I've told you about in and out of prison when I was a kid, and was an addict, and is now clean and healthy, and life is good, but making up for all those years, and brutalizing his body, and he smoked for I gotta say maybe 40 years. I don't even know.
Damn.
Got to be 30 some odd years. Yeah, got to be. And quit multiple times, but then quit. Finally now has been clean from cigarettes forever, and he had polyps or something all over his lungs. And then he called me one time and said that. He said, I know I got to go in and go, these polyps, got to take a look, something all over, bumps and popcorn stuff on my fucking. They say, it's probably no big fucking deal. And then I immediately, I didn't, I know 10 years ago I wouldn't have thought anything of it. And then now I was like, well, because I'm getting older. So I'm like, oh man, is this the thing? Is this it? So then I started to think, oh, I wonder if that's the thing now. Is this going to be it? And he said, there's no cancer in none of them. And they're slowly going to, go down if I do this and all this stuff. And then, a year or two ago, called me again and was like, I'm all good. They said, I'm totally good. But this guy, dude, has lived 1,000 lifetimes. So it's incredible. So that hasn't taken him.
Right.
So I'm like, how? Meanwhile, on my mom's family, it's like these Irish motherfuckers. They're dead from,
From a sneeze.
Yeah, right. Yeah. From a no-hold sneeze. These motherfuckers die. A fart outside crippled them. I mean, honestly, they all have something. So my dad's side, medical anomalies. It's till this day, it's still shocking. My grandfather just died 92, a couple years ago, and was not the pinnacle of health, but still lasted for some reason. Sometimes it's pure luck. That's the one thing I learned from
I
it.
agree.
It's pure fucking luck.
I think we're all like the same innards when it comes to the computer, and it's just a matter of whether this computer gets cancer or leukemia or diabetes or high cholesterol or whatever. I agree with you. It's
pure
a matter
luck.
of luck.
Yeah, pure
Everyone's got something.
for sure.
We all got something that's going to take us
You
out.
got it, baby. It's coming.
Everybody's got something. It's coming for you.
On a happier note, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're back. Can you taste and smell?
I cannot.
Still can't taste and smell.
I have
After
maybe
all these
10%.
years.
That goes back to December of 2020 when I got the first COVID. I got the iPhone 1. And, it
You got
fucked me up,
you got the
bro.
first
Yeah.
version. When we talked about it that day,
And
you
I could smell. Here's what the if you blow weed in my face, can't fucking smell it.
when you smoke a joint like outside, you
Can't
can't.
smell it. Nothing. But
What do you taste? Do you
I
taste it
can
a little
smell a
bit?
cigarette,
Right.
but they smell different now. Now I know what that smell smells. I can smell coffee, but coffee smells different. Now I know what that smell smells like. Chocolate tastes like shit. I mean, so many things taste like shit. Tastes
What-
like shit.
So it just
All the way off, bland. Like I could have. If I was an alien to this planet and didn't know the difference between cold or whatever, I couldn't tell you the flavors of ice creams.
Wow.
None of that shit.
Does anything taste good?
No, nothing tastes good, but there are things that don't taste bad.
What
And I
doesn't
eat
taste
by
bad?
memory. Like sushi still doesn't taste bad. Pizza doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste like it used to taste. I can't taste that. There's no pop on sauce.
Damn.
You know, I can't smell fresh cut grass.
No.
I can't smell the when that all the rain we've had, that rain at first about to come and you can smell it in the air. Can't smell that.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, dude. It
Those are my
sucks.
favorite smells. Fresh
know.
cut grass.
But you know what else I can smell though? That's really funny. It's always a dude. Any dude that's overdoing it with cologne.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Right
I
away.
get a scent. I don't know what it is.
Well,
like
don't
it
go to-
all smells the same, and I'm like, geez. I get in an elevator. I'm like, man, somebody overdid it in this motherfucker. And if I can smell it, everybody else in here must be dying.
Don't go to Glendale with all those fucking
Yeah.
Persian dudes.
Yeah, for real, dude. Yep. That's
Those
the
dudes.
shit I'm talking about.
Where when you smell somebody when they've already walked away and they're
Mhm.
15 feet away, you're like, bro, I still smell you.
Or
You
remember,
infected the atmosphere.
there'd be like an older lady at the school that would hug you or something, and then she would get her perfume on your face, and then it would just stay on there like oil.
Dude.
And I'm like, why is this on here? It's on here all day on my face.
It's soaked
I'm
in.
wiping it and shit. I'm like, why is this still on there?
I don't know who you know Tehran, you know the comedian Tehran, the kid that wears the robe? Tehran always wears too much perfume, and I haven't seen him in a long time. But I remember one time, you know, he wears, and it's always like gender neutral. It's always like, could be a girl's, could be a guy's. You know what I mean? You know these like really fancy ones that, I remember one time I go to the club, I see him, you know, I give him a pound, he gives me a big hug. I ain't seen you in a long time, you know, da da da. The rest of the night, I smell like this guy. And literally, I go back home and I'm like,
In your clothes.
this is Tehran. I'm smelling like this
In
dude.
your clothes.
And she's like, who is that? I'm like, who are you hugging? I'm like, fucking a middle-aged Persian dude who wears a robe, just drenched in his cologne. Yeah, you can still smell that as, you know, I guess that's a good thing to call people out. If Sickler can smell
If
you,
I can smell you,
that you got too much on.
way too much on.
I'm sad that you can't taste or smell.
Me too, dude. My doctor's like, it should come back. I said, you said that shit 2.5 years ago.
You got to get on Ellen about the and he still can't taste or
I've
smell.
done all the bullshit. And that's the other thing, going back to like backs and things. Like, the thing that ended up happening to me was, it was such an old injury. My nerves wrapped around my spine. Both my legs started going numb. I sat on the stool for the first time on stage. That's why I needed to get this shit. But there are people that be like, have you tried Pilates? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me show you the dick
What about
scar on my
yoga?
back.
Yeah, tried that too. Like, you think I didn't do all that before I went under the knife?
For sure.
Like, even the surgeon said, until the quality of your life is affected, I don't want to operate on you. I was like, I can't stand on stage.
So now that you're touring,
Well, I start at the end of May.
so what are you going to do now?
RyanSickler.com.
RyanSickler.com. Go get those. Go get those.
Right now, I'm
tickets.
promoting the special and working on writing and doing in-town spots. And
No, but I'm
things
saying
like
when
that.
you do go back out,
Mhm.
are you going to sit on stool the whole time?
No, hell
You
no.
can. You standing up still. You're
well,
good.
you know what? That's a great fucking question because
Yeah.
I just started doing stand up because I physically couldn't stand for 15 minutes without pain where I could concentrate on my set and timing and shit like that. You know what? I don't know. I might have
interesting.
to go getting into it. I might be able to do 30 minutes and then be like, damn, I need to sit. Yeah, I hadn't even
Because
thought
there's
of that.
days when I'm on tour, you know, that if we're touring a lot and we're doing multiple shows a night, and I get tired and I think about stooling because I'm like, man, people's at home are probably like fucking
Pussy.
smallest
Walk
violin.
it all.
But you're like, yeah, man. There's days where you're like, I'm tired. Like I can stand up, but you do get exhausted.
Like even now, like I have to keep adjusting because it's sore.
It's just sore
It
the whole time.
hurts. Mhm.
But no pills.
Nope. I don't like the pills. I've taken one oxycodone, and I have to have that because the other ones make my stomach sick, which is why
A lot
I
of people
probably
do
don't
that.
like 'em.
Yeah.
I've taken one in a month.
But the doctor said, and the reason we're not having anything to sip on right now is because,
I can't have.
well, you're not a
alcohol.
big drinker anyway. You were never a big drinker.
No, but I
anyway.
would sit here and have a.
You'd
drink
have a
with you
whiskey,
for
yeah.
sure, yeah.
But now doctors no more because the blood thinners. But he did say, give him the good news. He did say, smoke away, my
Smoke
friend.
away. He said 4 of them, and I have it recorded. Said I did. I've recorded everything.
You talking to this, please?
I'm
Yeah.
like, say that in here. They said it's a 2-part message. We obviously are doctors, and we prefer you smoke absolutely nothing or put it. But we live in real life, and if you are going to smoke anything, smoke marijuana. Cannabis is fine.
You heard it here, kids. If you're gonna smoke anything, smoke that.
Smoke marijuana.
No cigarettes.
Doctors love cannabis.
Yeah.
You forget about that. You know, you're like, oh yeah, you're a cancer doctor. You cannabis is your friend. He's like, yeah.
For sure.
Cigarettes are not. Cigars are not. Vapes are trash and too new, and they're like, don't even fuck with those. And then, you know, it's not like I shouldn't drink alcohol the rest of my entire life, but it's, you know, I'm brand new to blood thinners and stuff, and I'm
Take
not.
it easy.
After what happened to me, I'm not fucking around.
Yeah,
with it.
take it easy, way.
Bro, I'm in that 0.01. It's literally like 0.01% of people this happens to.
It's nuts to me. Still, it is so funny to think how weed is such a. Weed was the thing that I got yelled at by my mother when I was 16 for, you know, and now my mom takes edibles sometimes.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It's the flip that's happened in the
Think
universe.
about the parents back then, like, I know you guys are going to drink out there, so you can just stay over here and drink here.
Yeah.
But if you lit up weed, they'd be like, Jesus Christ, he's a convict.
Criminal.
Fucking
Yeah, he's a convict. Yeah. Yeah. When's your next bank robbery?
Right now, it's like, man, why don't y'all smoke some weed here
And
and
chill
don't
out.
fucking touch that alcohol so you can drive home in 3 hours.
But it is true. And I was smoking a joint in Australia. Because I was there for 2 months and dude, I forgot that everywhere isn't California. But we were smoking a joint outside of the hotel, and the guy was like, "Hey man, you go around the corner." I was like, "Oh, what? Why?" He's like, "Oh, it's fucking illegal. There's cops that are up at there at the event that's going on." I was like, "Wait, will they'll come say something?" He's like, "Yeah, what the fuck? You'll get arrested for it for smoking out." And I was like, "That's still a thing all over the world." I mean, I'm being ignorant as an American, but you're like, it's Australia. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "What the fuck? This is America 2.0. What's the
Yeah.
difference?" No, still crazy illegal. And you had to get it through a guy, like the old days.
Still like
yeah,
that.
we had to get a guy. It was kind of fun. It was actually fun to get a guy. I had one of the Irish kids, Mal, go get me weed. Santino, you want some weed, I hear. You want a little bit of a pot? How much do you want? I said, just get me, whatever you can get me. But he had to go get it from his guy, and it was still like the transaction of those old days, it did remind me how fun that
Smoking out
was.
of a fucking soda can and
Yeah,
shit.
me out of an
What'd you
apple.
Get to smoke it? God damn it, dude. All right, give me an apple.
No, but it's so funny that it was back to the old days of having to go through a middleman to get weed, and it was kind of adventurous and fun. And he like snuck it to me. I was like, this is kind of fun. Now it's going to the fucking Apple store. It's not as fun anymore.
I didn't know it was like that over there though. But
I mean, no one said anything, but I think people were conscious of it. That you shouldn't just.
Well, they're like, would you like Xanax? And I'm like, no, I don't want fuck. Also, you guys are putting me on so many fucking meds and pills right now. I don't want another thing. And they said, we listen to our patients. If marijuana helps with your anxiety, then we prefer you take that than Xanax. I'm like, yeah, I don't want another pill. And that Xanax is.
I don't like
know,
pills. I don't like pills, man. When I fucked up, I playing basketball again. I tore like a fucking hot dog bun. He said
Oh.
usually they split this way, but I fucked up the muscle in my leg and the tendon, and right away. I mean, they were throwing pills at me right away in the hospital. You fucking here, take this. Give me a big, huge thing of Vicodin. I don't even think they give out Vicodin anymore. That was the old days. They used to. That was a big thing.
Oh man, everything now you put a wristband on, and it is scanned and scanned and you're not getting a pill out of that,
Brother. It was
motherfucker.
they gave me just a huge oversized pill thing of Vicodin, and I took one, I took two, I took three, and it made me itchy and anxious. Itchy and anxious, and same thing, man. I had to when I did go to sleep, I had the craziest nightmares, and I didn't shit for like a year and a half.
That's the other thing.
couldn't
I didn't shit for 2 weeks in the hospital.
That's insane.
I'm regular.
Yeah.
I didn't shit for 2 weeks. And I said to the surgeon too, the one that came in crying, he goes, every surgeon has one patient they remember. I go, get the fuck out of here, dude. Do not be in here telling me. He's like, you're the one. I go, I don't want to be the one. Tell me another one. He goes, okay. Tells me about this guy had the same shit going on, laid in the hospital for a while, didn't shit for almost 3 weeks. And he's leaving LA to drive to Fresno. He's released that day. And the surgeon says, listen, I'm not going to sign off on this until you basically take a shit.
Take a shit.
Take the shit, and then you can go, and I'll be comfortable signing you out. And the guy's like, no, I'm not. I got to get out of here. That's what, 3 hours maybe up to
Fresno? That's deep.
Three
That's,
and a half, 4 hours. And the surgeon's like, please, and he's like, not going to do it. And he's like, all right, well, you can't hold the guy there against his will. But the surgeon's like, I'm not signing off on this, just so you know. Dude walks out of the room into just the little area, collapses on the floor right there. The nurses call him, and he says, get an ultrasound on his stomach right now. And they do, and his abs ripped open from all the feces. He now is toxic, and he's going right back in the motherfucking hospital.
No.
And I was like, how's that not number one, dude?
Yeah. How was number two not number one?
There it is, right. There it is.
Clean him out, dude. Just put a pump up his ass.
Seriously,
Something. Get him out, dude.
Seriously. I was like, holy shit, literally. Dude.
Not to get more injury stuff, but quickly, my old man just went through, had to get his prostate. Then he had gallbladder surgery, and then they said, this is just like my dad. He had gallstones so big that they laughed when they took them out. Dude, they cracked up. All three of them were in the room, and he was like, they were dying laughing because they're supposed to be the size of marbles. That's the average size is a marble. His were the size of golf balls.
Get the fuck out of here.
Balls.
Holy shit.
Because he was going to live. It wasn't like a life. It's not,
right.
So, but they had to laugh because when they took it out, he said it went on the table, like hard as a fucking, just slammed on the table. Usually the little tiny things, he goes, they hit so hard, they laughed that they were like, we've never seen this big. And he's like, he was in pain, but he didn't know it was like that. And he goes, the surgeon goes, I never seen these. We might have to save these. And he goes, what? He goes, we might have to save these to show other people. This might go in the books. They were going to measure it because it was one of the biggest they'd ever seen. And now he looks like he's got stab wounds, man. But he still made it to Australia. Shout out to him. They
Hell
still came
yeah.
down. They still came down and did the thing
That's
with
a
us.
flight that I think would kill me.
Oh, bro.
I have to talk to like people before I make a flight that's that long.
It was deep. It was too deep.
That's a
It was
long
too
flight.
deep. It was too
I'll
deep.
die on a plane like that.
16
They're
hours.
like, we can't land. And I'm like, I know how planes work. Yeah. You can't just be like, we're going to go right down real quick and get you on the ground.
That was the first thing I thought. I said, what if there was a medical emergency on the plane?
That person's dead.
And but you know what they told me? There's little islands all over the place that they have for emergency landing spots on the way.
Oh, is that right?
They've thought about this before. Yeah. Well, first of all, you reach Hawaii, then you get to like Fiji, and then you can do either, what's it called? Papua New Guinea and all those islands. There's so many fucking islands out there. They can get you somewhere. So.
And then good luck to you.
Good luck, dog. Yeah, you land in
We're
Papua
all
New Guinea.
We're out of here. Yeah, like, oh, man.
They're like, listen, we can save you, Ryan, but we have to get to Papua New Guinea. You're like, just get me to Australia, man.
What
Just
language do they speak?
push me out the plane.
I only know English.
What do they speak, dude? I got
don't
an
know.
A in English, but it was Shakespeare,
I
bro.
don't
Okay.
know, bro. I don't know.
Where'd you shoot, Lefty son?
The Dynasty here in LA.
Oh, that's right. You said that.
Yeah.
Jamie. Shout out to Jamie. Is he still
Jamie
over there, right? That's his
Flamin,
too,
yeah,
right?
hell yeah, man. They do a great job.
Everybody go watch Lefty son right now. You're one of my oldest friends, one of my favorite comics, because you're in a corner. It's cheesy. I hate the phrase, but a guy's guy, like the old school guys. Because for a long time in comedy, it's like a bad thing to be a guy's guy. Everyone wanted to be like the smart, nerdy. But you're still a guy's guy. There's like 7 of us that like sports.
Yes.
That's it. Truly, that's it. And I know when I can talk to you, I know every time I'm like, oh, he'll be excited that baseball season started because you commented. You said, "What's up with the Oakland A's hat?" I support those Oakland boys. I like the
I
elephant
asked
up
you
there.
if you threw out a first pitch.
I never done it.
first pitch, and I'm saying now the Orioles are starting to get good. I'm like, God damn it, my chances are going to be down here. Like I was asking you when we were last place in the league.
Yeah.
Not the AL East. In
baseball.
Yeah, when the Bird was out there throwing them out because they couldn't get anybody. I'm available. I'll fly to throw a first.
But
pitch
can
out.
you throw? You think you can huck still with your back? Now
You
you're
know
gonna
what? Damn good question there too.
It's gonna be underhanded for you,
It's gonna be
baby.
a minute before I can throw. But if they call me, I'll be ready. I'm going from the rubber though.
You will. You would go from the rubber. You're not doing that bullshit from the front.
The dirt,
the fake. Yeah.
No, the fucking T-ball pitch. No,
You got to go from the rubber.
I'm going from the mound.
What else did I said the other day?
I'm hitting the rosin bag too a little bit. And dropping it down.
Flipping
You ever
it,
see Swartzen? You know Swartzen did it at I think the
Minnesota.
Twins,
Yeah, of course.
and he did the fake pick off the first and then the third. You
Did
know?
he? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
he did
huge.
the
Dude, there's a brother in Payne's arms. He was almost blind from his surgery and all that stuff. He said he would. He had like pre diabetes or whatever, and it messed up his vision for a minute. And this motherfucker, we're out at sushi, and Swartzen's phone, it looks like one of those phones that you see on TV for old people, where they're like, for $12.99 a month, dude. Each letter was this big. He was reading it from here. What the fuck are you doing, bro? He had to scan one sentence. Took him 5 minutes to get through. Slowly scanning.
He's just doing this.
That's comedy.
Oh,
Comedy is
shit.
pain, pain, and then tragedy, and then we made up for it. I'm so stoked that you're alive. I know I said that 7 times. But
I am too, and thank you.
It fucked me up, man.
Say it as much as you want.
I was at
I was
at baggage claim, waiting to catch my next flight. I remember when I called you on the phone, and it didn't really set in until I stopped talking to you, until I hung up. That I was like, I really hope you're okay. I mean, it really kind of you don't think about it when you're young, and then you get older and friends have real things happen, and you're like, fuck, it really does hit you in a hard way that you always think everyone's gonna be. I'll see you again.
There's been a lot of comedians dying too. Emily was hitting me up, Emily LaFour, and I was like, "You're not putting me on that motherfucking marquee. I promise you that.
Don't put
You
me
ain't
on that
putting me
fucking
You get
marquee.
on that death sign out front. It's over. It's
Make
over.
God laugh.
Put me on the wall, but keep
Don't
me
put
off
me on
that motherfucking sign.
Don't put me up on that fucking sign.
Fuck that sign.
I'm not
man.
making God laugh. Don't do
No,
that shit to me
make
yet.
God laugh. Hell no.
But you know what? The thing I felt when I was traveling a lot, because there is a moment when you're living overseas that it hits you that you are far away from home, and I was far away from home, and I was like, man, if anything happens, this is where I am now. So it does make you value coming home and seeing people, like seeing your daughter and hanging with her, because
Yeah,
you're
man.
like, dude, it's hard being out
We
there.
did April Fool's jokes today and shit on her mom.
What'd you do?
Well, yesterday we lied to her and told her that she had knots in her hair, and I took her to the hairdresser, and we lied and said she had to have it cut real short like a boy, and I didn't say anything. I'm on the phone, and her mom's like, "Nuh-uh," and then she goes, "Stella, are you okay?" And I didn't have to look back at my daughter or nothing. She just went, "No," and I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I could hear her mom's anxiety set in. Oh my God! And I was dying. I was like, "We fucking got her." And then today, she came to pick her up. And over the door, we put a Halloween bucket full of just like confetti and shit, so that when she opened the door, it hit her in the head and spilled on her.
You're liking this shit more than your daughter is. Hit her in the head with the bucket.
I'm like, "That's gonna hit mom." She's like, "It's okay." I'm like, "It is okay."
Look, I love you. I appreciate
Thank
you
for
forever.
having me.
Listen, everyone at home, for the 1,000th time, because we mean it, please go watch Lefty's Son. The link is in the description below. It's on YouTube, available right now. Go watch it. We end the show the same way. You look in that camera and you say one word or one phrase to take us out. I think I know what it's going to be. Go ahead when you're ready.
One word
or one
phrase.
phrase.
I
Yeah.
can make it a phrase. It's great to be alive.
Go watch Lefty's Son.
In here, we pour whisk, 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 whisk.
You were that creature in the ginger beard.
Sturdy and ginger.
Like vampires, the ginger gene is a curse.
Gingers are beautiful.
You owe me $5 for the whiskey and $75 for the horse.
Gingers? Oh, hell no.
This whiskey is excellent.
Ginger. I like gingers.